Hey, what's up? Dean, Safe Performance. We're at the shop today and we are plugging away. Two projects in the shop. So the first one is my Magnum that I bought. Was just gonna fix it up, get rid of it. Sort of a flip thing, but never really got around to it. It kind of ran. The tank was varnished. I put pumps, whatever, and it kind of runs, but doesn't run good. Like, as far as, like, it runs good, the motor's solid, but as far as like either injectors are gummed up or something like that, which very likely could be because the tank was like disgusting varnish. Basically, it looked like inside that injector. So I got all that, fixed, and then the shifter was an issue. There's a piece up in the front that breaks that cable ties to, so I bought the updated piece, put it in. It still didn't work. But then I realized down in there's a solenoid that actually unlocks when you press the brake, and it's bad, and I don't know nothing about that solenoid. So literally this is how it sat, with all the pieces all over the place, and I was like, I'm out, done. But I came across the deal, basically a Vortec 6.0 out of a truck. It's like the LQ4. So I came across that long block. I bought it a couple years ago. Well, sort of bought it. Didn't really buy it. I obtained it. The gentleman that had originally bought it passed away. So we're now in possession of the motor. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pull this motor out. I already got everything off. I didn't record, but I took the airbox off, then I took the intake off, and then I started disconnecting all the harness. Just figured if I'm going to sell the motor, transmission type of thing, I'll sell it with the harness and the ECU. And pretty neat, actually. I've never worked on Dodge, really. But those two plugs are the entire engine and transmission harness. So you unplug, like I unplugged the 4 plugs from the ECU. I pulled the ECU out. It sits down inside that little triangle opening under the cover here. I pulled it up, unplugged all 4, and the whole engine harness came out. The entire harness. This actually goes to the alternator. So that's incorporated in here somehow. Maybe running, I don't know. It's incorporated in here somehow. But the whole harness completely came out. And then there was nothing to cut, no grounds, no nothing. I disconnected all the grounds, left them on the car so that I have grounds there. Like these were here, these were over to the cylinder head or something. I left those. There's another one down in there. This big one, I left that. Oh, actually, yeah, that wire went to the starter. It actually clips like into this somehow. But I don't know where it goes inside, whatever. So I got everything disconnected, everything apart. All the power steering lines are off. The AC lines are removed. Fuel lines disconnected off this side of the rail, which I'll probably pop it out of the quick connect right there, and I'll snap this piece back into the rail because I'll probably never use that piece. Or I may even take it off from there, and then I would connect to my fuel line. I'm gonna say that the fuel system should be good in this. The pump may be on the small side, but it should work. The motor mounts from underneath, super easy. Most of the stuff on this car is pretty easy to get off. The starter was a pain in the butt. The snout on it is real long, so it made it really hard to get out of the hole. So you had to have all the wires off, which not being able to get it out of the hole made it hard to get the wires off because the big wires sat against the block side. So it was a little bit of a fight, but it wasn't too bad. But I got that off. Exhaust is completely off on the floor over there, all in one piece. I took the whole exhaust off from one piece, from the manifolds all the way back to the muffler. You could see way back there. Drop that. Transmission's disconnected minus the drive shaft, which I have to pull. It's a bolt-in drive shaft with like torque bushings, so I have to pull that out. That's next. And then I'm gonna hook the chains up to it and start yanking on it. It's convenient. It's got 2 bolt holes there that I'll use, which do not duplicate to this side, but there's one back there and one up here, so we should be good. I yank the whole thing, motor, transmission, everything together. I think I have, yep, I got 1 heater hose there, then 1 down there, down there. Clamp's already off the bottom. I'll get that one off. I'll put it up on the lift, take the drive shaft out, and I'll be right back. All right, check it out. Motor, transmission's out. Everything's disconnected cleanly. The only thing that I don't see is a return line for the fuel. So, not really sure how this fuel system works in a sense. That's obviously the feed. It goes to the rails. So I don't see a return line, so I may have to run a return line. I'm not worried about that, but the transmission lines are obviously on the wrong side. Yeah, I made a mess. But the AC lines, I disconnected them. Power steering lines, everything's disconnected, neat and clean. And I pulled the motor out and forgot this heater hose that was on the back of the motor, but I found it before I yanked it out. So should be good. My goal for this car is 100% have it streetable, 100% streetable. So it'll have power steering, which I have a different bracket set up from that motor there that I may use on the front of the 6.0 if I can. And it kind of has more of like the F-body style pump on it. You can see it down in there. And I believe it has a remote reservoir. Yeah, it had a remote reservoir. Yeah, so I should be able to use that pump there and this bracket for the front accessory, and that way it'll keep a little bit easier for me to hook the power steering back up. What was I gonna say? So what I have so far is a big pile of parts over here. The debate right now, a couple debates actually in my mind. I did get off of Amazon, I did get one of the cheap harnesses for a standalone OEM style ECU setup, being that this is kind of not going to be a turbo build race car type of thing. And I'm actually fairly pleased. The connectors, every connector is brand new, every wire is brand new. The sheathing they used, it's just the corrugated crap, which, you know, I don't like. But underneath, they taped the entire harness. So I can literally pull all this off and just re-put on like a nice braided wire wrap on it and have it look a little bit cleaner. But it has everything on here. Like, this said it's for a 4L80, but it only has one input sensor. I'm accustomed to doing the 2 input sensors, so I'm not sure why there's only one. Well, then again, there's 2 right there. I'm wrong again. There's 2 input sensors for the transmission. So this is 4L80, but it has everything. It's got the fuse block for everything. It has a relay for something. I think that's to turn the ECU on. Like everything is here You know, it has nice grounds. Everything's to a nice ground, just like factory stuff. There's another relay in there, and then it has every injector adapter. So these are the Multec, whatever, like the GM truck style. Then it has the Multec to EV1 style in a bag, and it also has the Multec to EV6 in a bag, which I thought was pretty crazy. So this is the company here that I got this one from, Pangolin. I don't know, Pangolin. I don't know. It's off of Amazon. It was like $129 or something. Fairly cheap. So I have a bunch of ECUs that I can make work with it. I have HP tuners, so I could throw a tune on the car. It also has every wire for like your accessories, gauges and whatnot. It has an instruction book. I never even looked at it to see what all it does have. So it's a 98 to 2002 Vortec drive-by cable. List of terms. Okay. Here. Shows you where every single wire goes. So it lists out every single wire that's in there. Dash connections. So wires in this section are DLC. There it is. Brown. So in this loom right here. Ay. In this, you got brown right there is for the check engine light. Black. It's kind of black, right? I don't know. That looks green to me. Looks green, but it's got black on it. So black is speedometer. White is the tachometer. Dark green. Okay. Fan 1 ground. Dark blue is fan 2 ground. Orange park neutral signal. Oh, that's pretty cool. Purple brake signal for the torque converter clutch. Gray ECT lead. Water temp. Okay. I don't see a gray. You bastards. Yeah, I don't see a gray one in there. And a tan? Fuck. I see a yellow. 2 browns. One has a white stripe. So I'll have to figure all that out. Under dash. I have no idea. Oh, then there's cruise control. Oh shit. So this has everything. Oh, actually. Yeah, look at this. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Would you just look at it? So it's got fuel pump, ignition relay, tells you how to hook up for the cooling fan, tells you how to hook up for the brake switch. Tack, you may need resistor. Okay. Tells you what, map, sensor, idle, air control, tells you everything. Well, I mean, tells you a bunch of stuff. Who knows if it's everything or if it's nothing. But yeah, so I got that. Whatever. I do plan to do a 4L80. I have one here that needs to be looked at. I have one there that needs to be looked at. And then hiding in there, somewhere, right there, is an empty case that I use for mock-up. But I also have every single part for it in there. So I have enough 4L80s. That's what I'm going to do. So I bought this one, a B&M Magnum Pro stick with dual buttons. Ooh, part number 81104. And it's freaking nice. I actually really like it. I'm not usually a big B&M fan, but I kind of like it. So I plan to have two-step on there. I did order an MSD two-step box. Why not? And that was kind of my big debate. If I bought a Terminator X Max, you're looking $1,300-ish. But it has everything. It has boost control. It has everything in it. So you really get a lot for the money. But if I did that, then, you know, that adds a big expense to the budget, and I want to do a cam in it and all that stuff. So I said, well, why not spend the money on a harness, and then I could do a converter instead of a stock converter. So this is Total Transmissions of Chicago. I saw them on another channel, and I don't remember what channel it is. I screwed up and didn't write it down. I talked to Justin over there. Dude, super cool. Never used his converters before, but 4L80. It's a 2800 to 3200 lockup converter. It's threaded. The flange is threaded. Has a coat. I don't know if that's a coating or if it's just been sandblasted to almighty hell. But so I got that. So we had a stall converter, and then I got carried away and ordered what would be called the Sloppy Stage 3 camshaft. There it is. So it's an Elgin E1841-P Sloppy Stage 3. It is intake durations 238, exhaust durations 242, intake and exhaust lift is 595. So this cam's got a really good sound. I know it's a sloppy mechanic cam, and I'm always like, I'd never do that, but for the price, this could be found on Amazon. It's billet steel, so I'm gonna give it a shot. And then there's dual valve springs in here for it. Yep, there's dual valve springs in there with titanium locks. No idea what this is. Oh, this is like a universal motor mount, because the way the frame is, of course every single freaking piece is individually wrapped, because the way the frame is on the Magnum, there's no motor mount. Well, I mean, you could probably do like a Corvette style motor mount, but these go through the frame. I'll show you. Those two holes there and these two holes here. So those bolts drop through the frame. So being that it has that subframe there, and I'm thinking I may need to cut that subframe out to clearance for the oil pan, and I'm okay with that because it has a front subframe. So I'm all right with cutting that frame out, or cutting a section of it out and then plating it and doing sort of like a bar to support it back. I don't know, whatever. But it also has the frame up here, so I could weld. These are like the 2 tab style. Ouch. So this goes on the motor, and I got these so they're centered. So the bushing is centered, but it has the slots to adjust. Sometimes you'll see these are shifted way back, you know, on the pad. That's gonna be the other one. Bullshit. She's coming down, Captain. So these came with everything. So these long tabs here, take 2 of them, put 1 on each side, put the bolt through it, and then you could weld this bracket to wherever you want. Of course, you know, grind off the powder coating that they put on the weldable bracket, and then you can weld this bracket to wherever you want. So I'm going to try to stand them up on that subframe. If that don't work, then we can go sideways to the frame. If I need to make these a little bit longer, it won't be a big deal. But it came with the bolts, the nuts, came with everything. And again, this was like super cheap. So I'm tallying up every single dollar so far that I have in it. And to 100% honest, the converter was the most expensive part. It was like $429 shipped, $480 shipped to my door. So we're gonna be trying Justin out. He doesn't do like big performance converters like we do with the drag cars, so that's a little unfortunate. But if we do get some more people that want converters for kind of streetable type stuff, we have all that. So I got all that stuff. I got the 6.0 in the other bay. I'm also going to be putting, they're hiding back there. Those are a set of 243s that came off this 5.3 that are like spotless. This block, I got this as a long block, and I mean, I barely ball honed it, and the cylinders are like perfect. So this is a Gen 4 aluminum 5.3. Even the pistons, they still have like all the factory coating. These aren't even cleaned up, and like there's hardly anything. Oh, there was some carbon on the top. I wiped them with a rag. I did wipe them with a rag, to be honest. But everything's really good with that motor. So here's another debate I have is, do I do a Gen 4 aluminum 5.3, save the weight? That null and voids that harness, which I could convert it, but, you know, why bother? So I'm not sure, you know. A lot of decisions. But I don't know. So kind of working on this while we are working on Jeff's Smurf S10. I'm calling it the Smurf because he painted it blue and it looks like Smurf blue to me. So now this is the Smurf S10. If you haven't seen in the prior video, it's a Gen 4 6.0 bone stock. We stuck a nice Tick Performance cam in it. A little bit different of a cam than what they would normally recommend, but cool cam, should work really good. It's got a set of 706s, so it ups the compression some. Has a Holley split intake because he's fancy like that. Holley Terminator X. Flowtech headers, forward facing headers. I built the turbo kit. He's got a VS Racing 88 right there. Air to liquid. I don't know what's in that box. Oh, that's the intercooler stuff. Oh, the radiator's in the other bay. But then, because, you know, he's Jeff, he's pinky up and all that crap. Yeah, that. Yep. So that'll be coming up while I'm working on the while I'm working on Jeff's truck. I'm gonna work on the Magnum in between because, you know, he had to be all fancy boy and get lower control arms that only accept coilover shocks. So he's gonna get a nice rod, one up his ass and one in the front end of his truck. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're working on. Trying to get shit done. But we're plugging away. So I'm gonna grab a block, my case. I'm gonna get all that pulled over here. You know, anybody that wants a good running 2.7 V6 24 valve dual overhead cam with transmission, harness, ECU, everything. I didn't even take the belt off. Where's the belt? Right there. I didn't even take the belt off. Comes with everything. Hit me up. But that's it for this video. I appreciate you watching. Thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified of new videos. And I appreciate you watching. I already said that. Have a good day.